That persistent numbness, tingling, or cold feeling in your feet, could the unexpected culprit be hiding right there in your fruit bowl, masquerading as a healthy snack? It's a crucial question many seniors might not be asking. Hello and welcome back to Elderly Stories. Have you ever wondered why your feet sometimes feel numb, tingly, or unusually cold even when you're perfectly warm? It's easy for older adults to brush these symptoms off, perhaps assuming they're just an unavoidable part of the aging process. But what if some of the fruits you consume daily, fruits you've trusted as healthy choices for decades, are quietly exacerbating the problem? What if they're subtly contributing to nerve sensitivity, inflammation, or the blood sugar fluctuations that directly impact the delicate nerves supplying your feet? The truth, which might be surprising, is that not all fruits offer the same benefits, especially for seniors managing conditions like peripheral neuropathy, diabetes, or chronic circulation issues. And yet, these potentially problematic fruits are often found readily available on kitchen counters or added habitually to breakfast without a second thought. Today, we're bringing clarity to this important topic, exploring 6 specific fruits that seniors, particularly those experiencing foot numbness or related symptoms, might need to approach with greater awareness or moderation. These are fruits that, if consumed frequently or in large quantities without understanding their impact, could potentially worsen nerve-related foot problems and pose risks to overall health. Before we delve deeper, if you find value in understanding these health nuances tailored for seniors, please consider subscribing to Elderly Stories and clicking the notification bell. This way you won't miss any of our future health tips designed specifically for you. Peripheral neuropathy is a condition affecting over 25 million seniors in the United States alone. It occurs when nerves in your extremities, most commonly the feet and legs, begin to malfunction. This can manifest as numbness, burning sensations, tingling, pins and needles, or a disorienting feeling like walking on cotton wool. For individuals with diabetes or compromised circulation, this condition can escalate worryingly fast, potentially increasing the risk of falls, infections, or hard-to-heal foot ulcers. So what role does fruit play in this? While fruits are indeed natural sources of vitamins, minerals, and fiber, certain varieties are surprisingly high in sugar, particularly fructose. Some can also trigger inflammatory responses or contain acids and compounds that might aggravate existing nerve sensitivities. For seniors whose bodies may be more vulnerable to metabolic shifts, these specific fruits might, over time, cause more harm than benefit if not consumed mindfully. Let's carefully walk through the 6 fruits that warrant closer attention, requiring either avoidance or significant limitation for some individuals, starting today. Number 1. Pineapple thyme, the hidden sugar bomb. Pineapple, with its vibrant tropical flair and intense sweetness, is often perceived as a symbol of health and vitality. It's a fruit many seniors have likely enjoyed throughout their lives, especially brightening summer salads or served as a refreshing snack. But concealed behind its cheerful appearance lies a potential concern, particularly for older adults navigating circulation problems, diabetes, or heightened nerve sensitivity in their feet. What many people don't fully appreciate is that pineapple ranks quite high in natural sugars, especially fructose. While natural sugar isn't inherently bad, the amount and speed of absorption matter significantly. A single cup of pineapple chunks can pack more than 16 grams of sugar, which enters the bloodstream relatively quickly due to its moderate fiber content. For seniors whose bodies may process sugar less efficiently than they once did, this sudden surge in blood glucose can be challenging. Consumed frequently, it contributes to what doctors term glycemic stress, a damaging cycle where blood sugar levels spike sharply and then often crash. This fluctuation can deprive delicate nerves, particularly those in the feet, of the stable environment, nutrients, and oxygen they desperately need to function optimally. In the feet, the consequences of ongoing glycemic stress can become palpable: tingling, numbness, or that strange cottony feeling when walking. It might feel like your foot is perpetually asleep, even after resting. These sensations aren't mere discomforts. They are potential warning signs that nerves are starting to misfire, possibly even deteriorating due to inadequate blood flow and the damaging effects of excess sugar in the bloodstream. Pineapple, when eaten often or in large portions, could inadvertently accelerate this process. There's also an inflammatory component to consider. Pineapple contains bromelain, an enzyme complex. While bromelain has anti-inflammatory properties for some conditions, in certain individuals, it can act as an irritant to the gut lining or trigger histamine release, potentially contributing to systemic inflammation. When combined with a significant sugar load, this seemingly healthy fruit might, for sensitive individuals, fuel chronic inflammation that could impact joints, circulation, and ultimately, peripheral nerves. Thus, the very fruit that once felt like a guilt-free, healthy indulgence may, for aging nerves and vulnerable feet, become a sweet deception, quietly undermining comfort and mobility. And the most insidious part, pineapple doesn't taste like danger. It tastes bright, sweet, and reminiscent of carefree times. But for the specific needs of aging nerves, it often requires cautious moderation. If you're finding these detailed insights valuable for managing your health, please let us know by commenting with the number 1 below. Now let's examine another seemingly innocent fruit. Number 2, watermelon. Refreshing but potentially risky in excess. On a hot day, few things seem as satisfying as a cool, crisp slice of watermelon. It evokes pleasant memories and feels inherently wholesome. It's mostly water, right? How could it be problematic? But for seniors, especially those noticing numbness or tingling in their feet, the story is more complex. Watermelon, despite its refreshing quality, has a high glycemic index. This means it can cause blood sugar to rise surprisingly quickly, similar to some processed sweets. While a single slice might not seem like much, frequent consumption or larger portions can lead to repeated blood sugar spikes. Over time, these surges can strain the small blood vessels responsible for nourishing your nerves, particularly those in your lower extremities. When blood sugar spikes, your body works hard to regain balance. However, the nerves farthest from the heart, like those in your feet, are often the first to feel the strain. They can become inflamed, deprived of adequate oxygen, and gradually damaged. Nerve damage often progresses slowly and can be difficult to reverse. That subtle tingling or the feeling of coldness in your toes could be early signs of this process, silently unfolding over years. Watermelon might also offer a misleading sense of hydration. While it does contain water, it doesn't provide the electrolytes and fiber needed to help manage the sugar absorption effectively. You might feel refreshed temporarily, but internally your system could be grappling with a rapid glucose influx. For many older adults, especially those managing blood sugar levels, watermelon can act as a hidden challenge, sweet and appealing, but potentially disruptive in the long run. It's often consumed with good intentions, yet could quietly contribute to nerve stress and imbalance. If a fruit as seemingly benign as watermelon requires such caution, what about fruits that come in smaller, easily poppable forms? Let's turn our attention to one of the most deceptively challenging fruits commonly found in seniors' homes. Number 3. Grapes, the silent saboteurs. Grapes are convenient, sweet, and incredibly easy to snack on. They often seem like a perfectly harmless choice, perhaps sitting in a bowl on the counter for easy access. Many view them as a healthier alternative to processed snacks. However, for older adults experiencing foot numbness, tingling, or burning sensations, grapes might be more problematic than they appear. The concern with grapes isn't solely their sugar content, although a single cup can contain nearly 23 grams. A significant issue is the type of sugar, largely fructose, which in excess can tax the liver, cause blood sugar spikes, and contribute to metabolic imbalances. For seniors whose insulin sensitivity might naturally decrease with age, these rapid fluctuations can wear down nerves, especially those in the feet and lower legs. Because grapes contain very little fiber relative to their sugar content, the sugar enters the bloodstream quickly. Each handful can deliver a substantial sugar rush. Over time, this can contribute to inflammation in blood vessels and nerve endings, potentially restricting the vital pathways that keep your feet feeling normal. What might begin as mild tingling could evolve into persistent discomfort or numbness, making it harder to feel the ground accurately, impacting balance. Furthermore, grapes are easy to overeat. Their small size and pleasant taste mean you can consume a large amount without realizing it. Unlike a rich dessert, the stopping point isn't always obvious, but your nerves may feel the impact of every extra gram of sugar. Often, grapes are paired with other foods like cheese or crackers, which can further increase the overall glycemic load and potentially worsen inflammation. What seems like a simple pleasure could slowly compromise comfort and stability. If even trusted grapes require caution, consider a fruit often praised for its health benefits, perhaps part of your daily routine for years, yet potentially contributing to nerve irritation. If you're finding this discussion helpful, please comment with the number 3 below. Now let's move to our fourth point. Number 4, bananas. Too much of a good thing can be problematic. There's something comforting and familiar about bananas. They're soft, easy to eat, and readily available. Many seniors rely on them, perhaps remembering advice about potassium for muscle cramps. While bananas do offer potassium, the full story is more nuanced, especially concerning nerve health. For seniors experiencing numbness or tingling in their feet, bananas, particularly ripe ones, might warrant closer attention. What's often overlooked is the high natural sugar content in bananas. A medium banana can contain around 17 grams of sugar, primarily glucose and fructose. These sugars can cause significant blood sugar spikes, which can be particularly challenging for older adults who may have reduced insulin sensitivity, prediabetes, or type 2 diabetes. Over time, frequent sugar surges contribute to inflammation that can affect peripheral nerves, especially in the lower limbs. When nerve tissue becomes inflamed, it can interfere with the signals responsible for sensation. That tingling or cold feeling in your feet could be a sign that nerves are under stress. Bananas also contain tyramine, a natural compound that can influence blood vessel constriction. While generally harmless in moderation, consuming large amounts or combining them with certain medications could potentially affect blood flow, further impacting circulation to the feet. When blood flow is compromised, nerve health suffers. We often eat bananas thinking they support our heart and muscles, but we seldom consider their potential impact on vulnerable nerves. It highlights how nutritional needs can change as we age. But if bananas require careful consideration, what about fruits concentrated into potent, sugary forms? Let's examine a category that packs a significant sugar punch in a small package. Number 5, dried fruits. Concentrated trouble in small packages. They might look innocuous sitting in your pantry, a small box of raisins, a few dates, perhaps some dried apricots or figs stored neatly in a zippered bag. You might even sprinkle them onto your morning cereal or yogurt, thinking you're adding valuable fiber and natural sweetness. For decades, dried fruits have maintained a reputation as healthy snacks, often chosen consciously as a better alternative to processed sweets or desserts. But what most people fail to fully realize, especially older adults, is that dried fruits represent some of the most highly concentrated sources of sugar you can possibly consume. And for aging nerves, particularly those in your feet already potentially compromised, that intense concentrated sweetness can effectively become a slow, potentially devastating influence over time. The drying process removes nearly all the water content from the fruit, but leaves the sugars intact. This doesn't just retain the sugar, it concentrates it dramatically. What was once spread throughout a single piece of fresh fruit becomes densely packed into a small, chewy bite. A small handful of raisins, for example, can easily contain as much sugar as a standard chocolate bar, yet it rarely triggers the same sense of caution or guilt. That's the insidious danger. Dried fruits feel innocent, almost virtuous or medicinal. But for seniors, especially those already navigating blood sugar management issues or existing nerve damage, neuropathy, they function as a trap disguised as a health food. This highly concentrated sugar hits the bloodstream rapidly, often overwhelming the body's insulin response, particularly in older adults whose metabolic systems may no longer be as resilient or efficient. This leads to higher blood sugar levels that persist for longer durations, directly fueling inflammation around nerves and contributing to damage in the microvasculature, tiny blood vessels, that supplies peripheral nerves, especially in the legs and feet. That persistent, warm, burning sensation at night, or the gradually worsening numbness making it difficult to feel the floor accurately, these are signs that your nerves are under duress, signaling for help. Regularly consuming concentrated sugars, like those abundant in dried fruits, may be inadvertently pushing them closer to irreversible damage or silence. Making matters potentially worse, many commercially dried fruits are treated with preservatives like sulfites to maintain color and shelf life. Sulfites can trigger additional inflammation or allergic-type responses in sensitive individuals. And because dried fruits are small, chewy, and intensely sweet, they are remarkably easy to overeat, far too easy for mindful portion control without conscious effort. Have you considered the sugar concentration in dried fruits before? It's an easy thing to overlook. Share your thoughts below. Now imagine a fruit that isn't dried yet still hides potential issues behind a friendly, familiar face. A fruit universally associated with health, immunity, and vitality. Yet for many seniors, it can quietly irritate nerves and potentially interfere with the very medications intended to protect their health. Let's turn to the final fruit on our list, one whose inclusion might surprise you even more. Number 6. Oranges, not always the heart-healthy hero for everyone. For generations, oranges have symbolized good health. We associate them with vitamin C and boosting immunity, especially during cold and flu season. You might recall being encouraged to drink orange juice or eat oranges to stay well. While vitamin C is important, the overall picture for seniors, especially those with nerve issues, diabetes, or circulatory concerns, is more complex. Oranges can sometimes be more detrimental than beneficial. The reality is oranges contain a notable amount of sugar. Consumed regularly, especially as juice, they can elevate blood sugar levels quickly. A medium orange has about 12 grams of sugar, but juicing removes the fiber that slows down the sugar absorption. This makes orange juice behave more like a sugary beverage in the bloodstream. For older adults with potentially slower metabolism or reduced insulin sensitivity, this sugar impact can be particularly concerning. Over time, it can contribute to the wear and tear on blood vessels nourishing peripheral nerves, including those in your feet. Beyond sugar, oranges are quite acidic. While this acidity might not bother younger individuals, it can sometimes irritate nerves that are already inflamed or sensitive. For someone with neuropathy, this could potentially worsen tingling or burning sensations in the feet, increasing discomfort. Even more significantly, components in oranges and grapefruit can interfere with the metabolism of certain medications commonly taken by seniors. This includes some statins, blood pressure medications, and anti-inflammatory drugs. The fruit you believe is supporting your heart might inadvertently reduce your medication's effectiveness while potentially aggravating nerve symptoms. So, while oranges aren't universally bad, they aren't always a harmless choice, particularly if consumed daily or without awareness of their full impact. If you learned something new about oranges and medication interactions, please comment with the number 6 below. Now that we've explored how even trusted fruits might affect nerve health, you might be asking, what should I eat instead? Fortunately, there are excellent choices. What can you do instead? Embracing healthier fruit alternatives. After learning how certain popular fruits can potentially damage nerves and worsen numbness or tingling in your feet, it's natural to feel a bit discouraged, perhaps even slightly betrayed. After all, many of these are foods we were actively encouraged to embrace for health throughout our lives. But the reality is that aging changes the physiological rules. Our bodies often become more sensitive, our nerves more vulnerable, and dietary choices that were once nourishing might now work against our well-being. However, the goal isn't to eliminate fruit entirely from your diet. Fruit offers valuable nutrients. The objective is to make wiser, more intentional choices, selecting fruits that protect your nerves, support healthy circulation, and work harmoniously with your aging body's specific needs rather than against them. Start by prioritizing fruits that are naturally lower in sugar and richer in fiber and protective antioxidants. Berries. Blueberries, raspberries, strawberries, and blackberries are consistently top allies for seniors. They offer satisfying sweetness, but rank lower on the glycemic index, helping to avoid dangerous blood sugar spikes. Packed with potent anti-inflammatory compounds, like anthocyanins, berries actively support nerve health and reduce oxidative stress, which can help mitigate the progression of neuropathy. Avocados. Though often mistaken for a vegetable, avocados are technically fruit and a powerful choice. Their abundance of healthy monounsaturated fats supports cardiovascular health and helps stabilize blood sugar levels, thereby protecting nerve function and blood vessel integrity. Unlike high-sugar fruits, avocados nourish the body without overstimulating the metabolic system, offering calm, steady energy. Apples. Especially when consumed with the skin left on, apples provide a satisfying crunch along with a good balance of natural sugar and significant fiber. This fiber slows down sugar absorption, helping to maintain more stable glucose levels throughout the day. Lemons and limes. While sour and typically used as flavor accents rather than eaten whole, lemons and limes provide essential vitamin C and support natural detoxification processes without the heavy sugar load found in oranges or other sweet citrus fruits. Use their juice or zest generously. The key strategy is not fruit avoidance, but mindful selection and smart pairing. When you do consume fruits, especially those slightly higher in sugar, consider combining them with sources of protein or healthy fats. Perhaps a handful of suitable nuts, like almonds or walnuts, a slice of cheese, or some plain yogurt. This helps to slow down digestion and sugar absorption, giving your body the time it needs to process the nutrients safely without dramatic blood sugar fluctuations. This stage of life isn't about harsh restriction, but about applying wisdom, using your knowledge to preserve your mobility, safeguard your independence, and maintain your peace of mind through informed dietary choices. As you continue on this journey, you might naturally wonder what other commonly held beliefs about healthy foods could be quietly undermining your well-being. The answers can be both surprising and empowering. Your feet are communicating with you, often in subtle ways at first. The crucial question is, are you truly listening? As we navigate our later years, we come to understand that maintaining health isn't just about adding beneficial things. It's equally, perhaps even more importantly, about recognizing and letting go of things that no longer serve us well. The fruits we've discussed today might be colorful, familiar, even tied to comforting memories. But they don't always align with the needs of the bodies we inhabit now. And that's the difficult truth many of us are never explicitly told, that something so natural, so universally praised, can become potentially harmful when the physiological landscape shifts with age. I share this not merely as someone who has reviewed the research, but as someone who has also lived long enough to feel these subtle shifts within my own body, in my legs, in my feet, in the quiet precursors my body sends before discomfort becomes persistent pain or loss of function becomes permanent. We must cultivate the habit of listening more closely now. Our peripheral nerves typically don't shout in alarm initially, they whisper. They communicate through encroaching numbness, a slight unsteadiness in balance, a tingling sensation that wasn't present last year. And those whispers hold immense significance because behind them lies an urgent call for awareness, for change, and the optimal time to respond is now, before the whispers turn into louder, more debilitating signals. The dietary choices we make at this stage carry profound weight, impacting not just our immediate comfort, but our long-term independence, our safety from falls, and our fundamental ability to keep moving through life with strength and confidence. If adjusting the types of fruits on your plate could potentially lessen the burning in your feet, help steady your gait, or grant you even one more year of unassisted mobility, isn't that a change worth considering? You've lived a long and valuable life, and you've earned the right to feel as good and capable as possible within your own body. Don't allow outdated dietary habits or misinformation to inadvertently steal that from you. Choose your foods wisely. Walk through life wisely. And always remember, sometimes the smallest, most informed change can be the crucial first step toward a stronger, steadier, more comfortable tomorrow. These insights are offered with the hope they inspire you to live fully, authentically, and with empowered awareness. Now, I'd be genuinely interested to hear from you. Please take a moment to reflect and share one key insight or planned change resulting from our discussion today. Let's support one another on this journey by sharing our learning. If you found this detailed exploration helpful, please give the video a like, share it with friends or family who might benefit, and ensure you're subscribed to Elderly Stories for more essential content like this. Thank you for watching, and here's to living life well on your own terms. Be well, and we look forward to seeing you next time.